Morning, all. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hey, how are you? Hmm. Good morning. Happy Nine of Diamonds Day. Happy Venus Go Direct Day. I don't know if it's going direct or going tomorrow exactly, but it's somewhere around this time. Um, but I thought today would be the perfect time to talk about my people because it's a Nine of Diamonds Day. That's the people everywhere. What's really going on with us? You know what I mean? Like, whatever. Hey, Grand Rising. So, I had been talking about reparations. I've been talking about the pole shift, and all of that. And I'm trying to reset us back to these things because despite the fact of so many things going on that seemingly are bad, you have to understand that there are multi-dimensional realities going on. And not only that, one of the things that I know, and this is something that I talk about a lot, and that's, you know what? Before it gets before it gets great, before your time comes, there's usually a time of testing, period of testing. And I've talked about that too. You know what I mean? Thank you. Thank you. I talked about the period of testing before. And now that we're talking about testing the collective, because we are collectively moving into a period that is going to uplift us, then that period of testing is now upon us as well, right? And typically, that testing is, can you continue to build what you believe in despite all of the things that are going on out there around you? It's like that time, you know how the church folks say, the devil is here, the devil done shown up, especially when things are about to get really, really good for you. You know what I mean? And that's the way that I can compare it to. I can compare that all of this aggressive energy that's coming at us, because there's passive aggressive energy, because everything that's going on right now in this country is really, really, really about people of color of all shades, women, you know, all of the quote unquote what they kind of look at as the oppressed population, right? But it's really about people of color. And it's just like, how can we do this in a way without overtly looking racist so bad? Because if we overtly look racist, then we'll lose the moderate people. We'll lose the moderate people that we can gain. There's really not enough of us to be quote unquote outwardly racist, right? And one of the things that they know is that people are not going to read. And they know that people can be easily manipulated on the internet, right? And the reasons that they could be easily manipulated is because we tend to congregate on their platforms that they own and that they, have monopolized. And, one of the things, and I think I talked about it before, is that it doesn't take a lot of money actually to propagate information on social media platforms. It doesn't take a lot of money. It's just that some people are not going to use their money for that, right? So, like, we're not going to use our money to propagate, pay for good. stuff, good press about us or anything like that, to sway the opinion of what's been put out there. We're not going to use our money for it. And a lot of us don't even have money, but the ones that have money, they're not going to use their money for it. You know what I mean? However, the people who have an agenda, they have plenty of money, and they are going to use their money because they know how powerful things like Twitter, X, Threads, Instagram, all of these things, they know how powerful it is that these tools could be used to sway your opinion towards something, right? They know how powerful it is, so they have infinite money to do that. And this is one of the things that has been trying to be exposed to you. You know, there's been a lot of exposure going on. But when the exposure happens, that's the information you're supposed to propagate. When Elon Musk has been exposed to being putting all kind of money and all kind of resources in either swaying elections, opinions, or whatever, this should be constantly propagated, constantly, right? And guess what? We are the kings and queens of propagation, of information propagation, right? Means we the kings and queens of gossip, right? But beyond that, we really, really, really run that area. You know what I mean? So it's time that we become the media, especially for ourselves. It's time that we become the platforms, especially for ourselves. We need to exit their platforms. And I know I put up a platform, even put up a platform recently, but it's very costly for me. You know, I'm working on a Twitter style platform right now. Thank you. I'm working on a Twitter style platform right now. I'm trying to consolidate things so it won't be so costly for me. And I'm also working on our own browser. You know, I think I have I showed you the browser? I don't think I showed you the browser. Let me show you the browser. If you haven't seen the browser that I'm working on, hold on one second. I have so many things open, y'all. But let me see. I'm working on some guap stuff. Let me show you the browser I'm working on. I opened recently. I usually keep things open, but I haven't opened this in a while because I've been working on some guap stuff. How y'all doing this morning? Let's see if I can find it. It might not even be on this computer, y'all. Oh, I don't think so. Okay, this might be it right here. Let's see here. Hold on. Hold up. Let's see here. I think this is it. Give me 1 second. Let me get this all booted up. Okay, so let me go. Well, let's get started. I'm going to get back to y'all, and I'm going to open that up. But there's so much that we need to do. I know a lot of people is like, we're going to stay out of their stuff, and we're not going to go in their marches, and we're not going to do this. I like that as a beginning, right? I think that's a really good beginning because it gets you focused on not participating, but what do you do next? Now you have to do something, right? And we're willing to not do that because we with the idea, well, this may hurt you, but we're not willing to leave their media. We're not willing to leave their social media, right? And this is the time, like, this is what's going to make this, what I was talking about, this renaissance, this new age for us. This is what's going to do it. What's going to do it is us to create our own things, our own technology. And it's not like other people can't participate. It's not supposed to be that segregationist, but it's supposed to be something that we have control. And why do we need control? We need control because our power was stripped from us coming to the, being in this country. Our power was limited in so many different ways. We need to break free of those limitations and we need to set our power. We need to implement our power because there's never going to be a kumbaya society where we're all on the same level until we get our power back. Now, mind you, you don't have to give it back. We have to give it back because get it back because that's what power is. Power is not something somebody gives you. It is something that you build up. You know what I mean? Because it won't truly be power if it was just given to you. You could be a weak individual ruling, which is what we got right now. We got a very weak individual that's ruling because power was given to him. You know what I mean? So we're not asking for anybody to give us nothing, right? But what we need to do as a collective is grow our own power and seed our own power. And it's going to take sacrifice. It's going to take sacrifice. It's not something that you got to come in with the mindset that, oh, if I put in on this, then it's going to make me rich. No, none of this is going to make you rich. None of this. Guap is not going to make you rich. None of this is designed to make you rich. That's why I'm still here 8 years later with Guap. And because I'm not pushing this as no MLM, this is going to make you rich or any of that bullshit. I'm not. I'm saying let's build our own financial system, something of our own financial legacy, something that we can invest our social capital into. I posted a post the other day on Threads, and I was like, what would social media look like without Black people? You know what I mean? Like, what would it look like? We make the trending dances, we make the trending music, we make this trending skits. We got everybody all loosey goosey and able to feel good about getting on social media and being expressive, opening up your lives, being transparent, not feeling like, I mean, you got the you got the you got to look beautiful crew, but 90% of that is the let's be transparent people. Let's share what's going on in our lives. Let's laugh about it. Let's joke about it. Let's dance about it. You know what I mean? Now that is the bulk of us. So we made social media what it is today. And we make it exciting. And because of the excitement, people want to use it. People want to come. People want to open up and do things too. So people was making really a lot of fun about the segregation thing. Oh, they want to segregate it. No, you don't. No, you don't. Imagine that we would leave and take all of our energy with us. What would be left? Somebody made a joke and said unseasoned food. Somebody made that joke, and I was like really close. Is yeah, we bring the sauce. That's what my kids say. They call it the sauce. We bring the sauce. We bring the IJ. We bring the soul, the energy of these things, and we can surely take it and use it for ourselves. To be stripped of everything is so that you can realize your true powers and what you really have and honor it and take it away from your abusers. Just take it away Because we may not be enslaved, in some ways we are, but we are most certainly still abused. So thank you, Shamar. I appreciate that. So, and at this point, my desire is to be able to take all of this stuff and the things that I build and make something of it, a foundation that is something that we could build on as a community and it really make that impact. And that's what I want to see before the day I die. But, and it's not easy. It's not easy. And I'm not perfect. I have to feel my way around a new place, a new road, something that hasn't been traversed for us. And oftentimes I got to do it alone. So people show up, but there are things that people just can't do. There's people that don't build this, they don't understand this. You know what I mean? So I have to split part of myself to do teaching and the other part of myself to build. And the teaching part I love. Don't get me thing. I love it. I love the building too, but the teaching part I love. So it's very hard to get people to shift their perspective and to see that all that looks bad is in actuality a blessing in disguise. So think about it like this. Think about back in the days if you are on the plantation, and Massa and the Massa family or something, they were preoccupied with something and they didn't think that you were smart enough. They didn't think that you had anything because if you came over from another place, you had another language, whatever, they automatically assumed that you were a savage, right? So right now, because of the things that happen in our community, because of the gang violence, the this violence, the that, and all of that things that are projected, they think we savages. So let them think we're savages. But in the meantime, let's build up the technology that we created. Let's build up the community that we can build up because we finally have the tools in order to do so. It's the time for building. Absolutely the time for building. That's what time it is. So, yes, it is a reset. So, what are the things that you have to reset, right? You got to reset your perspective. You got to reset your tendency to focus on negative, even when there's one flower growing in the midst of all the negativity. You have to reset that. Because think about it. How many times do you open social media and all of the negative things capture your attention? But that one positive thing you can't focus on because you're too mad about all of the other things that are going on there to anger you. I'm guilty of this too. I sat there one day and I was like, how do I feel? Because I was just reading 10 negative stories. And how do I even remember the positive story that I read? Do I even remember the positive plans that I have? So we have to reset that. We got to reset our focus. You know what I mean? Let me tell you a little secret. We're overthinkers, brilliant thinkers, right? And the thing of the matter is, we don't apply our brilliance to where it needs to be applied to. We don't apply it, right? Because of the years of you're not this, you're not that, and you're not intelligent, or you're not that, or even in the home, we're walking around thinking that we're not intelligent, but we're pushing all of our intelligence, which is so much, it's not being adequately utilized or appropriately utilized. One of the things that I learned as a coder is that when you focus your intelligence towards a particular project or build where it's appropriate, then It becomes incredibly useful, right? But when you have all this intelligence that you're not focusing to where it's supposed to go to, you just have an overactive, hyperactive mind. And the overactive, hyperactive mind is, guess what? Negative. All of this stuff in the head without no place to go, or without the place that it's supposed to go and supposed to be used, becomes negative. It becomes negative thing, it becomes destructive. So you're using all, you know how we do, like we can dissect something, we can sit on the side and dissect the heck out of something, right? Just tear it down, tear it apart, be critical, criticize. Well, that same critique and critical power can be funneled towards something constructive and building something. You understand? You get it. And that's where we are as the true Atlantean descendants. And how do I know that we're the true Atlantean descendants? Because we're so afraid of the power that these things bring along with it, because we know what has been done. We know that civilizations have been destroyed. We know these things. And we're so like, no, don't do that. You can see it clearly. I see it sometimes even when when I went over to Africa and the spiritual stuff and all of that. You'll have groups of people who be like, don't do that. You know what I mean? And even over here, no, 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 don't do that. You crazy. Don't do that. Right? Because this is the trauma. This is the trauma that comes along with the mind that we had ages ago and the things that we were able to accomplish and do that we falsely attribute to the destruction of societies. Falsely. And there's proof that those places that were destroyed, we did not destroy them. But we assumed that we destroyed them, that it was us, that it was our power, that it was our knowledge and the things we do. So, what you tend to do is you tend to banish those things. You tend to bury those things because of the trauma. It's the same thing now. Something happens during your quest for, uh, putting something out or whatever. Then we want to banish our gifts and stuff like that. Ah, it's whatever. It's just destroyed my life. Now I don't have no relationship and no this and no that. It doesn't bring good things. Stuff like that. So, to understand it from that perspective and to note that you were once powerful, very, very, very powerful in mind, and that you are still powerful in mind, but it is caged in fear. So, this is what we need to understand about ourselves. And I don't feel that we're going to be able to understand it until we rebuild the technology and we rebuild the communities and the structures that we've had in the past. We've wanted to. We've, looked at Egypt and looked at this and we're so enamored with it. But we don't understand that we have Egypt right here. We have Atlantis right here. We have all of these things right here. And we just need to properly direct our intellect, our conversation, all of these things into build mode and get off the sidelines. Get off the couch, get off the whatever and get into build mode, because this is the time. The time is here. All of that stuff does not apply to us. I'll say it again. All of that stuff does not apply to us. Why does it not apply to us? Because we have not been in power for 4,000 to 6,000 years. Even you have even these people who are trying to destroy the country now saying that we're trying to survive. We're trying to whatever because we're our numbers are going down. Our power is dwindling. They know these things. And there's no amount of, and when I say our, this is the elite in them because the people who are not the elite in them don't have power neither. They just don't know. But they do have a key power, and that key power is being able to blend in. They do have that power. They have the power of blending in. You know what I mean? They have the power to do it. If they want to, they can blend in. But other than that, they truly are not on the level of power that the elites are on the level of on that power. So they have become extreme so-called Christians on the outside as well because they know that Christianity as it was is dying. As the way they created it is dying. As the blueprint that they tried to reshape it into is dying. So now they become conservative. So they're trying to conserve this this offshoot of Christianity that they created, which makes others powerless and gives them more power. Only people who are losing do these things. Only people who know, they know something, do these things. You just don't know. Or if you do, you don't know what to do with that knowledge. So it's a super important time. It's a super important time. It's a lot at stake. The scales are switching. And look, full moon in Libra. What perfect time to talk about the scales of justice and karma. Perfect time to talk about it. And it's not an easy process, y'all. It's not easy. It still has to be healing. There still has to be acceptance. There still has to be self-acceptance. There still has to be, you got to pick a position. Nobody likes to pick a position because that usually separates you from people. You got to choose a side. You got to pick a position. We can't sit around debating over what we're going to build. We ain't got no more time. We know what to build. We know exactly what to build. And then we also know that if you feel like you don't have the capability of building, then you better go over there and support somebody who is building, however you can. And then don't be afraid to run. Don't be afraid and run when some stones start falling from what you are building. Don't run. Work it out. Work it out. The key thing you need to look for is transparency. People who are willing to be open, people who can be as transparent as they possibly can about their failures, not just their successes, about their failures. Because there's going to be plenty of them. In this transition, there's going to be plenty of failures. But each and time as time goes, it's going to be more durable Because remember what the activists did in the past, like the Malcolm X's and the Martin Luther Kings, etc. What happened in the past? They got killed, right? That hasn't been happening. Don't you notice? Yeah, people die of illnesses, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. It's not a conspiracy and all of that. Because sometimes we get into this mission so much that we don't take care of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like we forget all about ourselves. So illnesses build back up. The less support you have, the less whatever, whatever. Like you get sick. So it's not all a conspiracy. If I pass away, better believe it's not a conspiracy. I was not paying enough attention to myself. I was not taking care of myself enough. So, but again, back in the days, they all just poof, they got assassinated right out in the open. Can't debate. Somebody assassinated. It doesn't matter who, somebody assassinated. Which meant being an activist, a light worker, whatever case you want to be, you were in danger of being assassinated. And there was no question that you were killed. We have graduated from that phase. That's cause to celebrate, and it's cause to move faster, move harder at what we're doing. They walked so we could run. You have powerful ancestors on the other side. So, I wish I was one of those kind of yell it from the mountaintop type people, but I'm not. I'm not. I'm not at all. Kind of a little bit quiet sometimes, but I'm yelling it from the mountaintop right now that we need to take this opportunity and we need to build one hell of a society underneath the radar. The radar is we're already there. We're already there. We got enough cover. So we need to build. Good morning, everybody. I know people that just popped in. So the answer to the question that I posed is yes, it's still our time, as even more so. It's even more so. This is the time we put what to say the metal to the rubber to the metal or metal to this is that time. I've been working on a few things with Guap, more on the community side. We're getting ready to relaunch the new website. Yeah, we're getting ready to relaunch the new website. Preparing to make it more informative, more of a place where people can learn about every little